So I don't even remember what I did. What is even? Okay, this was the rope bowls. Okay, I wanted to make bowls. One of them is yarn and one of them is macrame cord. So I wanted to see what the difference was. And technically, I was going to use two different types of glue to see how the two different types of glue worked, but I couldn't get the lid off of my clear glue. Sad. So they're both the same glue, but it's okay. And then, so to do this, first you start with finding a container that you want to use as your base. So I use one bowl and one pencil cup holder. And then you need some kind of plastic wrap to put over it. I didn't have saran wrap. I had a baggie to show that you could use a baggie if it's a small thing. Use a couple baggies. You need to have at least 3 layers of your plastic over it so that it doesn't tear and ruin your bowl. I use trash bags. I have these really thin colored trash bags, so I just use one, kind of twisted it all up. And then you put glue directly onto the plastic and start just spinning it really, really tightly to get your coil, bottom, whatever you call that. And then at some point when you can't really hold it anymore, put it directly into the glue that you had put on your plastic and then put more glue on top just to hold it in. It does use kind of a lot of glue. Glue is the main component here. How do I explain that? I don't know. I've been so busy today. I have no train of thought, and I've still got a lot of things that I need to do. And there's no time to do them tomorrow because tomorrow's already a full day. I needed to do more of these things yesterday, actually. That would have helped. But I upped my, I'm not even going to say it. Never mind. Anyways. Anyways, so I wanted it to be a rainbow bowl for this bowl specifically. So I just grabbed all the colors of the rainbow and laid them in a line so that I could go one at a time. And then I was doing approximately 5 like fingertip to elbow amounts of yarn for each color. It wound up that you can't really see the orange and the red, but that's okay because I still like where the bowl left off, and the orange and the red are on the inside, so you don't need to see it on the outside. It's fine. The dog's rubbing his face on my carpet that he was never supposed to touch. It's one of those like fancy princess carpets that we found in the living room, the other living room. This is the add-on. I lost my train of thought there. Anyways, when we bought this house, one of the living rooms had this carpet in it, and we put this carpet in my room because the dog wasn't supposed to touch the carpet because it's white. But you know, the dog goes everywhere I go. My hair is still wet. I did not have time to dry it, but it's warm enough that like it's okay. My head's not freezing. I do not miss the cold. I don't like the cold weather anymore. I have no train of thought here, and you know, this project is basically just to keep winding it as you go. And if you want to do colored, like you cut the color and you start another color, like I did here, multiple different colors of rope, and you're not painting it, you want to just be really careful where your strands meet to paint the paintbrush in on both sides so that it holds all of the little ends so that they're not like all standing up and going into each other. Just have to be slow and careful, and a paintbrush helps a lot with that. I mean, you could use your finger if you want. It'd make your hands so messy though. My hands were already messy enough when I was using a paintbrush. So I recommend a paintbrush. I usually use an old, really bad quality one that I can't wash. I wouldn't use for a good project anyway, and I wind up just throwing it away. I have a shocking amount of those. They come in all paint kits and stuff. There's all sorts of places that I seem to wind up getting paintbrushes from. Also, I got a bunch of paintbrushes and pens and pencils and all that from my great grandmother's house. Did I say that right? Nope, definitely not. I don't think we found any pens and stuff in this house, just like cool stuff. Baby stroller, a bunch of baby stuff from the 70s, cookware and stuff like that. And I did find what was apparently a real gold plate, but I didn't know that until I microwaved it, and the microwave, and I was, don't put real gold in the microwave. Oh my goodness, it was terrifying. And then I was afraid to open the microwave to take it out because there was like this electrical something happening in the microwave. Oh my goodness, I don't know what we did with that plate. I think we left it outside for someone to have because like I want plates I can microwave. I don't need plates that are gonna do some kind of scary something. So this is object number 2. This is what wound up being the Mother's Day gift. I gave her the bowl too, but I didn't really put things in it, just like the things that she had sitting on her desk in her office. I put those, it was like 2 or 3 little things. So the bowl's just random bowl. But this I turned into a thing. So this one was actual yarn. The other one was macrame cord, whatever you call that, the macrame string ropes stuff. Way stronger, thicker, sturdier. This yarn I wanted to try to see what's going to happen if I use yarn. Also, the yarn is like multicolor, so I wanted to see how it looks if you do it like this. So did that. Did I already mention that this is way thinner? It's also way softer. So this did technically hold up mostly fine. I wound up getting a few gaps. Something wonky happened around the bottom, so there's like this little piece that sticks up, but it's solid, solid-ish, solid enough, solid adjacent. Yeah, close enough. So this one worked the same way as the other one basically, but I wouldn't feel comfortable like actively using the yarn one for a cup holder or something that you're going to take in and out a lot, because it's a little too fragile for that and it will fall apart pretty quickly unless you do some kind of reinforcement to it. So I turn it into a little gift because why not? I'm going to see the dog.
There he is. He's got really bad skin. We need to do a chamomile soak on his skin. He has various health issues. That's my sweet old guy. Now I can't put this back down. Now I'm going to be distracted by my wiggling dude. I think that that's a pit bull thing. That upside down wiggle thing he does. I don't think I've ever seen any other breed do it. Did I get that on the floor right? Nah, maybe. And I don't think that my sister's dog, who is the other breed that he has, Australian Shepherd, I don't think he does that. But I've definitely seen a lot of pit bulls do that. The neighbors have tons and tons of different dogs. And then the neighbors who lived there before them also had a bunch of dogs, mostly pit bulls. The ones before them, they have a few. Anyways, my point is they do that wiggle thing. So that's why I think it's that breed. And then I've never seen other breeds do it, like little dogs. A little bit, sort of, but not quite like that. Definitely not the husky. That dude is more reserved and elegant. Anyways, I like the neighborhood dogs. It's a cute bunch. We have dog house. I think they do dog daycare because there's so many different ones. And there's little, like young, tiny, big, tall, little nice assortment. And then these guys have teeny tiny ones. I love their little dogs. They're so sweet. So anyways, blah, blah. I don't even know why I'm talking about this. Probably because he distracted me. He has his big chicken. I love that big chicken that I found him. I love birds. So, of course, I'm going to find him a big chicken. He also has bunny. I love bunnies. I try to choose dog toys that I like. Anyways, to take these out of the thing, they just kind of pop right out pretty easily for the bowl. So it was either the bowl shape or the rope. I don't know. But the bowl popped out really well, quickly. The plastic peels off so easily. And then I just kind of pluck off the little bits of, what is that stuff called? Glue. Oh, wow. Could not find that word for a moment. Pluck off the excess glue that's like sticking off the top. And then it's just done, I guess. I mean, it felt pretty sturdy. It's completely dry well before the 24-hour period. This one was a lot harder to get out of its container, and I'm assuming it's because of the shape of it. But I had to pry this thing out of the container, and I squeezed it a little, and I dented it a little. But hey, you know, it undented, so it's fine. And that could be part of why it had a little bit of a gap. I tried to use hot glue to reinforce that little bit of a gap on the inside, but I'm distracted, sorry. I have a very, very limited train of thought. Is that even how you call it? Anyways, so this one, the plastic pulled out just fine too, but then I noticed on the inside there's like this one little gap where it's separating a little. It could have used a little more reinforcement. It was too far away, something like that. I don't know. So I tried to reinforce it, but then I just decided that this shouldn't hold that much weight. I played with it with a few pens. Didn't like it. Those were crayons, not pens. Anyways, so then I take all of these flowers that I have partially made because I did all of the flower garden strands in my sun porch. And then I filled the bowl with them and I start to think about them and I decided I'm going to make this like a vase, a flower vase, so that it doesn't have to support a lot of weight. It's just felt flowers. They have no weight. And I already made them, so it was really fast. And if anyone wants to see how to make them, they're really easy. I could show anybody. I mean, they take a while. It took a long time. I watched the entire series of, what's his name? He's one of those dudes where all the girls go to his house to try to date him. It's really, really, the dude, Flava Flav. Is that his name? The dude who wears the clock.
So I watched that whole show while I made all of the flower strands in my sun porch. It took so long to make those, but it was really fun and it was a really interesting show to watch while doing so. So anyways, it was a fun show. Wow, that just reminds me of the girl who pooped on the floor. That's all I can ever think of when I think about that show. I don't remember her name. I don't remember anything about the episode. Nothing, just that happened. That's like the defining moment of the show that I can remember. So anyways, I just glue the 3 flowers on the top of this really quickly and make a cute little vase. And then I decided I wanted to say Happy Mother's Day, so I grab a piece of cardstock, like, I don't even know what that is. It's a folder or something. A thicker piece of paper, you know, and then I just write on it with a marker that was a little dry. That's disappointing. I make a hole in it. I don't have a hole punch in here for some reason. I don't even know where they are. I don't like hole punches. So I use my handy knitting needle as my hole punch. And then I just try to find, what's that stuff called? What's the thread stuff? Embroidery thread in a nice color. It took me a while to try to tie that on. I played with the way I tied it a couple times, and I didn't really like the way I tied it, so then I decided I was going to use another dot of hot glue just to make sure that didn't fall off. So, and I gave it to her already. So that's that. Bye.